Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Sophie, and today we are discussing most anticipated horror books of 2023. Firstly, we have The Nightmare Man by J.H. Marquette. This is getting released on January 10th, 2023. So, The Nightmare Man is essentially a book about somebody who's written a book and is coming to the eve of its release, and the events that's happening in the book is starting to unfold in real life. And there's this killer scarecrow that comes to life and wreaks havoc, basically unfolding a lot of the story that Ben, the main character, has written about. It might be similar to Clown in a Cornfield, except maybe a little bit more dark. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book that I'm really looking forward to is What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. This one is more of a thriller. It's about these group of friends. One of them had been stabbed and survived the attack. Testimonies from the girls put the serial killer away. It turns out that maybe they were lying. What happened in the woods wasn't exactly what they said. The third one on this list is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This one is also publishing on January 17th. So excited for this. I have loved all of Grady Hendrix' other books that I've read. I think I haven't read one, so I might need to read that at some point. The two main characters are having to go back to the childhood home because their parents have died, and they're trying to sell it, and things go wrong. And as it's a Grady Hendrix book, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of comedy within his horror. So really looking forward to this. Like, I'm so excited. And the next one that I'm really looking forward to is episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. This book is coming out on January 24th, and this one is a little bit different. This is about a TV crew who go into this abandoned haunted mansion and start to go wrong. It's very paranormal, it's horror, it's suspense. So they have to like discover the secrets of the home and everything like that. So it sounds interesting. I am really looking forward to reading it. It is publishing January 24th. So again, obviously it's on this list for a reason, but I keep saying it anyway. But I am really looking forward to these releases, especially as like I'm starting to find my area that I enjoy, and this book obviously fits the mold. Next on this list we have All Hallows by Christopher Golden, and as you can tell by the title, it is based around Halloween, very similar to Michael Myers. That's my take on the story. And then we have another one that I have been hearing and seeing everywhere. It's Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones, and he is one of my favourite authors. This is a follow-on from My Heart is a Chainsaw, which I did read last year. Not last year anymore, 2021. So this story is a follow-on from that. So I don't really want to tell you too much about this book. This one is getting released on February 7th. We have Mothered. This one is getting released on March 1st. This is a claustrophobic psychological thriller. So it's about one woman's nightmarish spiral, having to be quarantined with her mother. So I put this on my list because just read This Is Where We Talk Things Out. And this one is about a mother-daughter relationship that I really enjoyed reading, and it took a really dark turn. So I think that Mothered might have a similar premise, which is why I put it on this list and why I want to read it in 2023. Next up we have Pinata. This one is being released on March 14th, and this one is a story about how the sinister past comes back and haunts us. So it's set in Mexico. The story about possession. It says that it's a head full of goats meets Hereditary. I loved Hereditary, so when I heard that, I was like, I have to put it on the list. So I'm interested in reading this. It does sound something that I would like. Next up, we have Lone Woman by Victor Falal. This one is getting released on March 21st. This is like a historical fiction book based in the American West. Since reading Alma Katsu's historical horror, I thought that I would give another author a try, and that's why Lone Woman is on this list. Next up, we have Into the Light by Marco Scero. It's getting released on March 28th. Different. This is a young adult queer horror. I don't typically read a lot of young adult horror, but when I do, I kind of really enjoy it. So I thought that I would put this on the list as one of my anticipated releases of this year. And another one that I am really looking forward to is A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This one is getting released on March 28th, and I am beyond excited. I recently just tried this author out and thoroughly enjoyed all of her books. This is one that I'm really looking forward to reading this year. Next up, we have Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. It gets released on April 4th. Next up is The Last Heir to Blackwood Library by Hester Fox. This is also getting released on April 4th. It's historical fiction meets gothic. Next up, we have Graveyard of Lost Children by Katrina Munro. This one's getting released on May the 9th. This one is a horror fiction. It's a story about a woman who was almost murdered, and now she has haunting visions from the past when this happened to her as a child. Now that she's having her own daughter, these haunting thoughts come back and she starts to question about being a good mother. So I was intrigued and I am looking forward to trying this out. I've not read by this author before, but the story sounds really interesting and I wanted to add it to the list. We have Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates, and this is getting released on July the 11th. I put this on here because it's a winter horror, and you know me and my polar horror, I am obsessed and I read anything that is based in winter, and I found this one that's going to be a new release in 2023, so definitely had to add it to this list. Next up, we have Burn the Negative by Josh Winning. This is also getting released on July the 11th. So this is like a mashup of different things, and it sounded so interesting that I was instantly buzzing to read it. Mix of horror, suspense, and slasher. So it's about like a notorious slasher film that's remade. The curse that haunted it has been reawakened, and things go wrong from there. So this one just screamed 90s to me, and I was instantly thinking about The Ring, and I adored The Ring. It was the first horror movie that I ever watched that proper scared me. So of course I wanted to read this, having that idea in my head that this might be something similar. So the next one is Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is getting released on July 18th. So this one was so intriguing because it said that it was a mix of Mexican horror movies and Nazi occultism. So it brings like a dark thriller about a curse that haunts a legendary lost film. It sounded so intriguing that it seems historical, yet very horror-y and suspenseful. I loved reading Mexican Gothic by this author. I really want to read Silver Nitrate. So another one that I'm really looking forward to is Her Little Flowers by Shannon Morgan. It's being released on July 25th, and this is another gothic horror. Next up is Looking Glass Sound by Katrina Ward. I am so excited to read this one. I've recently read The Last House on Needle Street by this author and absolutely fell in love. It was one of the best books I've ever read. So from that, I've now bought Sundial, which I am going to be reading in the next few months. This and then reading this one as well, because I think that this author is going to be one of my favorite authors of all time. It's getting released on August 22nd. So those are the books that I'm really anticipating and I'm really excited for in 2023 that have been announced so far. I just can't wait to read. I think 2022 had been my best reading year since I started tracking what I've been reading, and it's really made me motivated for 2023. I've got a lot of creative ideas that I want to do relating to books, and I want to keep reading and exploring new authors. I hope you have enjoyed watching this. Do let me know if any of these books are also on your most anticipated of 2023. And if you have any recommendations for me, I'd really love to see and know what you would recommend to me. Don't forget to subscribe. Do stick around. I'm doing a lot more book content this year. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!